All right, y'all are unmuted, just so you know. Walter.
Watch your pocket.
I will, but
Ew.
good morning.
Dana said he was coming. I talked to him yesterday and he said he was coming unless something's.
I haven't talked to him. I usually try to call him, but.
I think he's standing by the front door talking on the phone.
Okay.
It's getting them trucks rolling.
Hi,
There he is.
Hi, Tom. Good morning, Dennis.
How you doing this
How
morning?
you doing? Good to see you.
This is Carly Bullock
Hey, nice.
in the state.
Meet you.
How you doing, Bob?
Bob Smith, nice to see you.
Uh-huh.
How you doing,
Oh,
Dan?
morning.
Good, buddy. How you been doing?
Doing good.
Busy stuff.
We need a chair. We got another chair. We need.
Yeah, things are getting ready to get real busy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and y'all can slide down. This doesn't need to.
Oh,
It can be a header table.
Yeah, okay.
You wanted to slide the table at an angle?
Oh, no.
And then.
But you can right over here, I'll look at it.
Yeah, I'll leave it over there.
The rain.
I'm Carly Bullock.
Yes.
Hey, Rich.
Huh?
When I had back. Really? Yeah.
Last week?
Mr. Smith.
This last rain we had.
Where was that at, then?
Yeah, I have it.
Have it approved?
It's, I think it's in you guys.
We got an inch and,
I suggested after the meeting, 2.
last one, we got an inch and 4/10.
Okay, 2. I think we should do that first, right?
Dumped us on us. The last
The election officer.
Thursday.
Let them go ahead. Agree.
Friday. You want to do that Thursday or Friday after?
After,
But it was a good rain.
I'm sorry,
We needed it.
the agenda. Approval of the minutes and treasurer's report. And that would be.
I just put things aside. I don't know how much for a lot, much for a lot. That's just
You can do it.
crabgrass and everything. It's just moving right now.
That's-
How's loving it.
Going
That's from here.
Three out mine yesterday, so to speak, and then we'll.
That's the proper order there. It's just.
Early.
All right, well, I'd like to call the meeting to order, the EDA meeting, July 13th. And Robert, would you lead us in an invocation, please?
Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, again, we come to you and thank you for many mercies and graces you give each one of us, Lord. We thank you for the wisdom as we conduct the business of your beautiful county. Lord, thank you so much for your Son, Jesus Christ, in which we offer our prayer in his name. Amen.
Amen.
And thank you, Robert.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome,
Before we get started, I'd like to meet everybody.
yes, I have here, welcome to the new members.
Yes.
So welcome, Bob and Carly.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Carly Bullock. Nice to see you. Yeah, nice to meet you.
All right.
All right, so it looks like we have a quorum. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the meeting over to Taylor. First, before I do that though, I would like to the last several meetings, I got a little lengthy because we were not staying on course as well as we should have. So what I'd like to do is allow for a public comment period at the end of the meeting. And that way we can put everything there and keep the meeting rolling a little bit and get out of here on a little bit better time. So for now, the next,
May I think the public comment should be right after the election of the officers before we go into the minutes. Move it up instead of last.
okay, that'll work. So we need to do the election of the officers. So I'm going to turn it over to Taylor, who's the clerk, to oversee that.
Okay, as everybody knows, I guess the bylaws are such that the EDA organizes at the meeting in January. But because we've had some turnover in members and because we lack a chairman and a vice chairman now, the EDA is asked to re-elect or elect a chairman and a vice chairman. So at this time, I will open the floor for nominations for chairman.
I would like to nominate Eldon Dufferbach.
Second.
All right, you've got a nomination of Eldon Diffenbach that's been properly seconded. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, please signify support for the motion by saying aye.
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 All right, could we redo that and just have a show of hands? Okay, all right, so that motion is passed unanimously. So Mr. Diffenbach, I will turn the meeting over to you for election of the vice chairman.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, same thing. I'd like to, we need a vice chairman and open up for any nominations for that position.
Chairman, I'll nominate myself, Bob Smith, vice chair.
I'll second that nomination.
Okay, it's been properly seconded, so let's go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And, all right,
Show of hands.
okay, yeah, second by show of hands. All right, perfect. Well, welcome, Vice Chair.
Thank you.
All right, so what we decided we'd do is go to the public comment at this point, correct? And
We have to address the agenda first, so I think we'll take a look at the agenda and see if it can be approved or if it needs to be amended.
okay. So as looking at the agenda, is there any discussion on that?
I would move that we add the communications from citizens right after the election, right before we go into the minutes. And then I also would like to add under new business bylaw change and that's it,
Field in the path.
field of the pass, I'm sorry.
All right,
So you've got a motion.
Got a second? I made the motion on, in a second.
I'll second.
all right. All right, so we approved the agenda and,
Need a vote.
okay, yeah, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Okay, so now we're going to go to the public comment, which we'll hear from Field Day of the Past.
They're on the agenda.
They're on the agenda, so anyone.
Public comment is just for anybody
Oh,
that,
well, okay,
any
all right.
citizens are here.
So anybody from the public have anything they want to share? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the approval of the minutes and the financial reports. I'll give everybody a little bit of time to review those if you have not.
Okay, I did have a correction on here. Continued minutes were not held at the emergency building. They were held in this room, I believe.
No, I believe we met both times at the emergency building.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't present in the room, so I didn't detect anything.
Yeah. Any other discussion on that? Not, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes and financial reports from our last meeting.
I think technically you approve the minutes, but you just accept the financial report because it's done by, out of your site and you can't, be part of that.
Okay,
The financial report is always accepted, not approved.
okay, thank you for that. So just approval of the minutes.
You want a motion for that?
I did
To move
ask.
it along?
Yeah,
I vote that we approve the minute.
okay. I have a first, anybody second?
Second.
All right.
Got to vote.
Aye.
Well, all in favor of approving the minutes? On by sign of aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Right. We have Bob abstaining.
That's because he wasn't here.
Right.
Right.
Just for the record. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay, then we'll look for the Genesis Day Corps, and you want to move to that and?
Yeah, the accepted finance.
Oh,
Financial reports were there for your review and comment. The balance in the EDA fund is $658,263.53. And the unencumbered balance on the economic development account is $107,917. That's 17%, that's 76% is remaining unencumbered. And that's mostly because of the salary and wages that were in for an economic developer that never got filled.
any questions on this other than the? Yeah, do you need a motion to accept that? So I'll look for a motion to accept the financial report.
I'll make a motion to accept the financial report.
Abstain.
Dennis seconds. And do we need to vote on that? Okay.
Yep.
Then, well, do we wait for Marty?
Are you okay? You got
All right.
here.
All right, so we'll, all in favor of accepting the financial report? Respond with a sign of aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain again for the same reason.
Okay. Now we can move to the old and new business. And do you want to start with Genesis, or do you want me? Because I talked to Sam yesterday.
I think since we've got guests here from Field Day of the Past, that we should bring them up and have Melissa and Sam, I think, are here.
Yes.
And if we could hear from them and have some dialogue, we're awfully glad to have you.
Yeah.
I'm Amelia.
Melissa, sorry.
Okay, this is Sam Long. As all of you probably know, Field Day is planning to move to the county this year and host a show on the 17th, 18th, and 19th of September. We're very excited about being here. It's really, this Amelia County seems to fall into what we feel like similar things, the atmosphere, the feeling of family, the agricultural atmosphere is all part of our program. We look forward to both bringing volunteers from the county into our program, helping your businesses grow, and to just become part of this community. We're looking for some support from the county itself as far as helping us promote this event and get the word out so that we can bring the people in here. It is a very exciting time, but it's a very challenging one. It's a great deal to be done to move from Goochland to Rockville. We did begin to move this past weekend. Not all of the stuff in Goochland will come to Amelia before the event. We just don't have the time, the manpower, or the wherewithal to do it right now. But we will do what we can. There's a lot of planning to be done, a lot of ground maintenance to be accomplished. We're working on everything as quickly as we can, knowing that we have a deadline to meet. would like everybody in this room and throughout the county to understand that we are facing something that we are not quite sure how to accomplish in the time we've got to accomplish. But we will make mistakes. We will do the best we can to prevent any of those mistakes from happening. And we will work with whatever organization within Amelia County can ensure both safety and success of the event and the future involved. Does anybody have any questions?
The big equipment like a sawmill, and is that something you're gonna be able to get operational,
Yes, we have a sawmill, a mobile sawmill that will be.
that you're gonna have set up?
Yeah, the sawmill will be coming up. Right now, we're still developing events, but of course we'll have the pools that are on the track. We have gotten the approval, for the construction of the track. That's begin very soon. There will be pools on the track for, tractor, lawnmower, and truck. We have a sawmill that's coming. We have construction equipment that will be doing demonstrations. We will have music. We'll have lots of historic reenactments. Many of the participants in our heritage area have agreed to come for free this year in order to help us
Good.
promote this event. Of course, we'll have food vendors, pony rides, mechanical bulls, arts and crafts, vendors, that type of thing. We have been trying to develop programs with the FFA and the 4-H. The 4-H are participating. We hit the FFA at a hard time. It's the timing is not really enough for them to pull together. We're still going to try to work to see if we can pull them in somewhere. We're more than willing to do that. We're working with some businesses that are coming in to help us or to make a presence.
Are you gonna offer area for private vendors other than the food vendors?
As far as we need. And we have businesses, we have what we call commercial spots that businesses can purchase and have.
Okay.
And then, of course, excuse me,
A form of sponsorship,
right,
like $250, you get a 20 by 20 spot to represent your company there. And that's what we do.
and there are.
And it's open to anyone that wants to come in as a business. And if you want to come in and promote other things that are not commercial, we welcome that. We're looking for the county to bring in the locals that have jelly making contests. I mean, anything that you can imagine with our approval, but we're looking to expand what we do. So anything the county wants to bring in, we're open to. I hope that answers your question.
Well, what I'm speaking of, I had a person ask me, he follows the antique sales and old merchandise. Some of it's farm stuff, some of it's just old milk jugs and stuff like that.
Some craft stuff.
And he wanted to know if y'all would have spots available for him to come and at least for the weekend.
She calls it arts and crafts. I call it junk. I mean, it's all, some of that stuff, it's all the way to the stuff, but it's collectible and people love it.
Yes.
And I've always fought with her over why we have to have all this junk. But for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can't barely walk through where that stuff is. It's a tremendous draw.
It all comes under my arts and crafts.
She does
committee,
arts and crafts.
just simply because that's simple, but it's all available. It's all stuff on them. A lot of them too, are new people.
Okay.
So that it's-
And I'll get with you later and get a contact number and all where I can pass it on.
We're passing.
I'm kind of like you. I was raised with antiques because that's all we had.
We
And-
just call it old stuff,
and-
because we lived with it.
And to me, it's junk.
Anybody
but,
else?
Some people, they think they're treasures,
I didn't bring them in, but I do have flyers, anybody. We were up for my husband and I were up here the day of the 100-mile yard sale. talked to a lot of people and passed out flyers and tried to generate some interest. Of course, we're on Facebook. Yes, sir.
I need a handful of flyers so I can take it to my business in Farmville.
I work for the schools, and so I may be able to get FFA involved a little bit. I'll talk to.
Okay. That's because I know that there's some things that we'll talk after the show because we used to do a read and win program. And not gotten any response on that this year, so whether we do that. It's probably a little bit late to do it this year because it involves children reading over the summer and then are recognized by the program. But that may be something we can
We
develop.
might be able to get it out.
Okay, we are planning for this year's show. We have a whole lot on our plate. We are short of volunteers, but in this planning, we're also looking forward to what we can do next year. You know, there's some of that, I talked to the Department of Agriculture about possibly doing some kind of displays, heritage farms, of century farms, I think. In Amelia. So, we have 2 months to do what was attempted for 8 months. So it's time consuming, it's very hard on your nerves, but we're gonna do the best job.
Well, it started, 29 years ago, with the fundraiser for the fire department. And we basically started with it. That's what we had to do. We had some financial issues before we left Houston County that we don't need to get into, but we really are strong. But it's we've gone through growing pains and don't expect to see in September what our full potential is because we can't get it up to speed that quickly. A lot of you guys have been to field day and have seen it, and it won't be that for
It's
sure.
not gonna be a lot.
But it's gonna be, but the buildings will not be there, it'll be all on the tent. But the majority of what we do at field day comes in for the show is private collections and they leave after the show. We can do that here. But along with what you said about selling, we have a consignment sale also that you bring it in, the old stuff in, put a price on it, and our guy sells it. So we have, that's all.
Okay.
Reach out to one of their needs along, with any of that stuff, pass our numbers along. And what we run into is that people are going, interested parties are trying to contact John and Emma Mendel and Alonzo Archer, the guys that are helping us put this together. But those guys can't make the kind of decisions that need to be made. What you're talking about. We know what's going on there, not that, we just can't open the gates and let everyone come in. So, you know, we have to know what's going on and have proper passes and proper permits to get everyone in. So we want it to come, don't get me wrong, we want you there, we want everyone there, but you just need to follow the correct.
It's gonna be enough chaos and confusion in it. It's not, I mean, let's be honest, it's gonna be. Now, we had an open house or field warming out here in June. It was about 200 people that attended that event on Father's Day, so I was very pleased with that, very pleased. We are having our monthly membership, our monthly meeting tomorrow night out on the property in the field behind the parking lot, and that's open to the general public. So, you know, the more we can get the word out, the more volunteers that we can get, the more that we can get the community involved and make them understand that this is not just our show, it's everybody's show. So anyway, are there any other questions?
Have y'all coordinated with the campground as far as
I talked.
availability?
You talked to Fern, you talked to Amelia.
Right.
Fern the other day, I need to call back and talk to Brenda. I have told them we're coming. I'm gonna try to work out some kind of deal with them, but they know we're coming. I have talked to them, yes.
Yeah, I would recommend definitely talk to Brenda with that.
Yeah. Fern just had this.
Okay.
We said we have 30 or 40 campers. Like camp, just self-contained, but we're not doing that this year, so we're pushing everyone to that. That needs to be clear. I understand that,
Yeah, they're doing some remodeling right now, upgrading, but, I talked to Brenda a couple of months ago about it. She said she was receiving phone calls every day, but she hadn't heard anything definite from y'all. So she couldn't take reservations because she was scared that it might not happen.
The finalization of this agreement just happened very recently.
So,
So that was one reason we were kind of dragging our feet until we got this agreement in ink. But it's in ink now and I've talked to a lot of people on the last 3 weeks.
Word was released before it should have been released. You guys had 6 weeks to plan, and we could not plan because we didn't have. And we, in Louisa County, 6 months ago, we were ready to buy permits until the same thing happened. Something went awry, we didn't have it in writing. But so until we had it done here, I just left it to do anything as far as getting it done. So I think 2 weeks now, 2, 3 weeks now. It hadn't been long. We just got it.
How many acres are you gonna have available on the Menlo Farm?
It's 13, it's about 30 acres. It's
It's probably 50 acres.
It's not that,
Okay.
unless you count this parking.
Well, you have parking lots all over. It's probably close to 100
Okay.
that will be available. I don't know if we're going to encompass it all this year, but
Well, no, I just,
I think it's available.
I know how it's been all over the parking. And, it takes a tremendous amount of total space.
Well, if we are successful here as we were in Gooseland, that could be an issue.
Sure.
We don't know as of yet how successful we'll be here. We just don't know who's coming. We normally have a year to advertise and get everything out. All of the valley, Shenandoah Valley, none of that area has even been touched by advertising yet. So we have a huge following there. We have a huge following in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Those guys are really just kind of up in the air yet. So we really don't know what kind of volume we're gonna have. But it's really kind of a test run. I am working with VDOT and the state police and your sheriff's department. Now to try to repair. But we really don't know. Yeah, that was right. We went, if you came to Gooseland the last 5 years, we were parking on Broad Street and transporting people from Broad Street by bus all the way through private property to get to our show. So it does become cumbersome if you get that bit. Hopefully we will generate good income for us, good income for you guys, helps the county all the way around.
Anything else?
I think it's wonderful. I met with you and my family loves to come to it, and so looking forward to having you here. Yeah.
You have your work cut out for you.
Yeah.
To be honest, I felt more welcome here than I have ever felt in Houston County. And that shouldn't leave this county, but you guys have been awesome. I mean, really, everywhere we turn has been really great. We look forward to having a successful event. Thank you all for accepting this. Very good.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you for coming down.
One other thing, you don't need to have cards, the numbers are on there, I'm not going to gamble, I'm Sam Long. We've been together longer than most people have been married, but we're just very good friends. I tell people that if you have a problem with talking to my wife and her husband to get it straight, we've been together a long time. But if you have questions, don't hesitate to call us, because we don't know a problem exists until we know there is a problem. So our phones are always open to anything. I had one of our good volunteers say, you know, you and Melinda run this thing. You listen to my complaints, whether you do anything about it or not, is up to y'all. But you do listen and be forward with stuff, and we try to do that. We try to, I mean, you can't make yourself better if you don't find out where you're wrong. Feel free at any time. Not at 10 a.m., when 10 p.m., but bring it like 8.
I'm asking them at that time.
I'm done, thank you.
That's great. Again, thanks for coming down and taking time out to fill us in where you're at. Okay, old business, Genesis and A&E. I talked a little bit to Sam and he's still working through his process to get kind of a letter of intent and things like that. So not much to update there. And I don't know if you have anything on the A&E to report or not.
Unless you want to go into closed session, the agreement that was presented by A&E has been reviewed by council, and they have recommended that we go ahead and execute that and the 120-day study period.
Right, good. And Bob, what the bylaw change you want to?
Yeah, I would like to change the bylaws to have our reorganization July 1st at the July meeting. Since our terms run July the 1st to June 30th, that'll bring everything into compliance, and also that's when our fiscal year starts, July 1st to June 30th. I think maybe when it was first set up, they follow the Board of Supervisors. Their election is in November and they take office in January 1st. So probably they're just parroting that. That's just a technical thing. So I'll move that change if that's appropriate.
Does anybody have any discussion on that?
Makes sense.
I agree. So,
There's a process for changing the bylaws.
Yeah.
So like, what I'm hearing is to begin the process so we can bring it back next month, and make it official.
Correct.
Okay.
okay,
You know, check on the communications from citizens, what has to be the bylaws also. Change it all at one time.
Yes, sir.
right. So do we need to do any action today?
I think we can just start the process.
I think the instructions that were just delivered.
And I think that's a great,
Do we have to vote on it?
I don't think it would hurt to.
so we had a motion.
Moved and seconded.
All right, let's vote to instruct the staff to prepare this and bring it back to next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, carries. All right, so we'll move to the county administrator's report.
Okay, so there, I guess I'd like to point out to everyone, they haven't driven by the park recently, please go by there and look, because it's changing every day with what Richard Smith is doing with his excavating equipment, and he's turning a broom sedge field into a real park. It's moving along, looking well. He's actually working with one of the adjoining property owners who has asked him to make a few modifications to the work he's doing to make it a little bit better for each of them. They go cut a grade down a little bit further over towards the whole river building, but that's all going well. There was an inspection last week on the ENS and that passed. We're happy for that. And on another matter, there's a local business that has come forward looking for some assistance with an application to the Tobacco Commission for some growth and repair they need. There's going to be a follow-up session on Thursday with the business and one of the Tobacco Commission employees. This is something that's going to be recommended to be funneled through the EDA. That's why we need to be getting up to speed on it. The way these programs work is the business can go directly to the commission and handle all the paperwork themselves. Or if a unit of local government, whether it's Board of Supervisors or whether it's an EDA, if they're willing to front, it's a less cumbersome process, especially on the business. So they have asked if we would interface for them, which we gladly said we would. So we should have something next month, a lot more detailed. Thursday, we're going to have some reports and different things that we've asked for, documents to be brought to the table. And this is something too that Robert Lauderberg and Taylor Bryant from VML Vaco, the finance operation that we have aligned with, they are going to be shepherding this through. So that seems to be moving forward. The last thing is there's been some discussion with the Tobacco Commission about the last grant that we had and the fact that we're getting ready to sell some property, and there might be a few repercussions from that. Legal counsel is still working on that. I think the Board of Supervisors as well as the EDA will have a full report with some recommendations at the next month, or at least the discussions will begin then. Amelia's counsel has been talking to the Tobacco Commission and they're trying to sort through some things.
But we don't really need to do anything at this meeting. You'll bring the information as.
That's right. There'll be decisions that'll need to be made within the next 30 or 60 days. But it needs to be sorted through first.
So this meeting, excuse me, this meeting Thursday, does any of us need to be here?
You could be, but it's not necessary.
Okay. All right.
I take it they're looking to get some money back.
That has been the suggestion.
Oh.
That has been the suggestion.
Any questions for Taylor on any of those items or any for further discussion?
I think maybe since they are new, what's going on with the Tobacco Commission, if you can kind of explain it, or
That's a good.
that we used to get grants and now they consider it loans. And even old grants we got, they say they're loans and they want percentages of the money back.
I think in 2016, the commission started to recognize that if you don't do anything but issue grants, that eventually you don't have any money left. So they've changed their policy somewhat to consider it more of a loan than a grant, but it wasn't a line in the sand and a great declaration that this is the way we're going to do it. It was really more of a policy thing, and in my opinion. And when organizations and communities get grants, you know, that a grant has historically been, we're providing this funding, use it wisely. It's never been a clawback unless there were standards that were agreed upon that weren't met, such as providing X number of jobs and that type of thing. There have been clawbacks in the past for those type of things. But this is something that is different.
Or if you didn't repay your in-kind
That's correct.
commitment.
So at some point, is it not considered a loan? So if you've had the land for 15 years, at some point, do they just say your term is up and so we
Well,
don't need any
up
more? of that?
up until now, it's been, a grant was a grant.
Right,
The loans that we've had, we took out to build utility systems, and they're mostly with the USDA. A different organization. Those are low interest, long-term loans. Never been any discussion about forgiveness or anything like that. You just pay it when it's due.
Do our representatives to the Black Tobacco Commission have any insight on what's going on?
This is more of an administrative thing with the Tobacco Commission, I think. I think the appointed members maybe not aware quite as much as to what we are as to what's been going on. This is the first one we've ever gone through. But once council gets sorted through things and is able to advise on the legality of it all, certainly the commission members will know about it then.
Are we still in joint effort with other counties too? Or are we kind of taking this fight on as a?
I think Jeff Boris has been communicating regularly with legal counsel for several other communities.
What is their, I guess we don't really know the legality, like, what is their plan of action if we were to do nothing? Or is
I
that?
just hadn't gotten to that point. It's just, let's get these documents, let's read what was what, let's try to figure out where everybody's coming from.
So they haven't given us a price yet of what they want back. Okay. Right. Any other questions for Taylor on any of that?
It'll be interesting.
Yes. It will be interesting. All right, so next on the agenda is the closed meeting. So are we ready? Any other discussion on anything before we go to that?
So what will be in the closed session? The more detailed report on A&E and Genesis? Is that what you
Yes.
anticipate?
Yes.
Okay, so it'd be real estate matters?
Yep.
Do you know the number for that?
Yeah, it's 2.2
Okay,
-3711AB.
okay.
I will entertain a motion to go into closed session per those numbers.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. Do we need to vote for that? Or we just,
You wouldn't need to vote.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, vote or certify?
that's when we come out.
Come out.
So let's have a vote to go into closed session. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Didn't hear any. Okay, great.
All right, so Holly will cut off the recording of the open meeting for the individually.
Yeah, you can just say, certify that blah, 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 and everybody just answer yes.
That's correct.
Okay, so we're going to enter back into the open session. And I'm going to ask that all members certify that only business by the Code of Virginia 2.23711A3 was discussed. So we'll just go
I'll
around.
certify.
I serve.
I certify.
Yes.
I certify. Okay. So do we have any other items that anybody would like to discuss? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second. All right, meeting adjourned.
All right.
I'll get to the River Street meeting.
You need to be there.
All right.